I gotta get out of here.
Oh! Buongiorno. Gabriella wants to give you a tour of the vineyard.
Why?
Aren't you getting married there?
Oh.
Hello, you two. I enjoyed the movie so much. I'm ready to book my ticket back to Tuscany. I was so impressed because you guys actually speak quite a bit of Italian in this movie.
Well, he does.
A little bit.
So I was wondering if you could maybe give me a lesson. What was your favorite word that you learned in Italian? Teach me how to say it.
See, the problem is you say learned past tense. The Italian went into the same bucket that lines go into. I know them on the day, it got flushed out. My favorite phrase that I think I still have in my head is non ti preoccupare, ci penso io, which means don't worry about it, I got this.
Okay.
And I found that was a very useful phrase.
Yeah. The only one I remember is un po', like a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. That's it.
I love it. I love it. Well, it's so much fun. Now, Rege, I heard that Halle had said that you were so prepared every day on set, but she wanted you to get out of your shell a little bit. So was she successful in doing that? And what was the most fun thing she convinced you to do in Italy?
I want to know why Halle's knocking on me. Where are you saying? I think was Halle. I mean, we went out at the end.
Yeah, at the end. I got him out at the end. We were like, wow.
Like when I'm at work, I'm at work. And when I'm not at work, I get to not be at work. So, you know, I just have clear lines.
Yeah, and I needed a little bit more of how reggae is so good. I need like a little more structure and focus so I could like adopt things from him too.
I do need Halle's sense of adventure. I think that's partially what works so well between the characters because there's a lot of that in the characters, a lot of clever casting going on there.
Yeah.
And I think that they find that freedom in each other very similarly.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that brings up my next point was, what did you guys end up admiring about each other as scene partners? Like, how did you guys bring out the best in each other? Can you remember a specific scene or moment?
Oh, there were so many scenes, but I think the most fun one that I loved the most was when Michael and Anna were meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
And there's kind of like a little anger, a little passion, messiness, fireness going on. And we're trying to figure out each other. And Anna's like, what's going on? Trying to figure him out. And I really liked building that kind of, you know, tension from the beginning there. And then both of our walls kind of falling down as we got to know each other more throughout the movie. But I would say our beginning stuff is really fun, getting to play with him and do stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. Anna, don't play about her food.
Yeah, it's her food.
How about for you, Rege?
No, exactly the same. I think it's particularly watching where you get to tap into those passions is really fun. Because I always enjoy when a scene partner is slightly unpredictable because then you get to play. You get to discover how people react to things. You get to see, oh, you're bringing something out of me that I didn't know I was going to bring to the table. And likewise, I can bring something out of you and then you have something really alive.
Yes.
So well, it was really fun to watch. I want to bring up the culinary rehearsals that you went through because I need a little help in that department. So what are your best cooking tips? Maybe I know you went through like knife practice and pasta prep. So any cooking tips you learned from rehearsals?
Ooh, well, I learned how to hold the knife properly. And there's a certain way that they chop and protect their fingers. I just thought it was so cool. I learned all these different tools. There's one that you kind of chop garlic with. It starts with an M or something.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
it like has that
but
little
it's
curve.
so fancy. Yeah, I learned really cool little things. But yeah, when I'm home, I just kind of throw it all away.
To autopilot.
You still got all your fingers, so you did something right.
The rehearsals worked, absolutely. Okay, now the scene where Rege, you serenaded Halle. Let's talk about it.
This is a real takeaway. People are bringing this up.
Well, first of all, your voice was beautiful. And I don't think a lot of people know that you actually have a band with your brother.
I have a teenage past, yes.
A teenage past. Well, it was a treat to get to hear you sing. So for the both of you, what do you remember about that shoot day and that experience together?
Sheer terror. Absolute terror. Halle Bailey has one of the world's finest singing voices, bar none.
Yes.
And having to sing a cappella this close to her on the day was one of the most terrifying things I've ever done. Hugely rewarding because she was very, very polite about it.
No, he killed it. He literally killed it. We all were on set like, wow, this is amazing. And it's fun. Like that part in the movie is one of my favorite parts. And he's dancing. It's great. And then that song, Mario, I feel like that
So good.
song has stuck with everyone at some point in their life. So you kind of get transported back to whenever you first heard that song. And I love that that's kind of a theme song throughout the film.
Absolutely.
As well.
I love that Mario's going to get his shine. And
Yeah.
definitely will be stuck in everyone's heads. So what are some do's and don'ts for traveling to Tuscany?
I would say don't forget your swimsuit
Mhm.
because that's what I did.
Mhm.
Oh,
I was
no.
so mad at myself. I ended up buying
Okay,
one
good.
somewhere.
So you can find one.
Yeah, you can always find
But
one.
no, dress light. Like it is hot. Dress for the heat. Dress to enjoy yourself. Learn to passeggiare. Learn to walk slowly and take life in. Don't
Yes.
rush through a Tuscany trip.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know? Take life at the right pace. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the people with the food.
Yeah.
You know?
And enjoy the wine, right?
Yes. Don't forget to drink the
Who
wine.
became the biggest wine snob on set out of the cast and even the filmmaking team?
I love wine, but I don't know if I'm a wine snob because I feel like I have so much to learn. I have so much to learn about the wines, the white, the names, the cab, the Pinot. I just am not
That is
very.
an excellent line to take. You have so much to learn, and
Yes.
therefore.
Yes.
I love it. I
not
love
like
it.
a master at all.
Definitely. Okay, now if you guys were to go back to Tuscany just for a vacation with the cast and the filmmaking team, who would you trust to plan the whole itinerary and who would you trust to just bring the vibes?
I feel like
I might throw both
Reggae
on you,
would
like
be
your vibes.
Really?
Like
think
you
I
would
could
bring
do
the
the
vibes.
itinerary?
I think
No.
you could, because you did do the itinerary though. Like you were out. Like you got
Really?
exploring every weekend.
I guess so.
You know, you found all these secret places.
Yeah, but I feel like if we had to be organized, you would know how to
Who
do
wants an
that.
organized holiday.
Yeah.
My Virgo tendencies are like, I need to know when we're taking the bus to go to
Really?
the museum to do all the things.
You
but
like
yes,
type A.
yes, definitely
Yeah.
type A.
No,
but-
I'd build in structure for unpredictability.
Mhm.
Like rent a car, because you want to be able to drive around that.
And that was
And then
so
just like
smart.
discover.
Yeah.
That was my one tip I gave to everyone. Just like
Yeah.
rent a car and just drive. Like the landscape is like this. It's
Yes.
beautiful. Just get into it. Find a little town that you didn't know you were going to turn up in. Pick a restaurant and just discover.
Explore.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally. Well, that reminds me that we got to see you driving a Maserati in the movie. Did you actually get to drive that?
That was fake.
Okay, that was movie magic.
That was movie magic. We were on a sound stage, like a screen stage, I don't know, whatever you call
Uh-huh.
it, but it was very fun and it looked real.
I'm discovering this for the first time. They put
Yeah.
me through 4 weeks of driving
Yeah,
school.
he had to learn how to drive everything.
Yeah, I was in there every day.
Ape,
I'd drive the Ape, which
convertible.
is basically a motorcycle, which I've never driven before, with a trailer on the back.
Yes.
And then the convertible.
Yep.
I was learning to drive that, which is a beautiful vintage car from before power steering was a thing. And so it was a muscular experience.
Yeah.
And you
You
got
were
movie
really
magic.
good at it though. Yeah, I didn't have to do any of that.
You know, Reggae, they really put you through a lot of training, like the barrels, the
bet.
driving. So
Halle was free and went exploring every weekend.
love it, love it.
You're a chef. You belong here.
This was fun.
Okay. Hello, you guys.
Hey, hey.
I loved the movie. It truly transported me to Italy. And so I want to start off with talking about Italy and just how it's a main character in this movie. So what flavor does Tuscany bring to a rom-com, Will?
Oh, you know what? Spiciness,
Yes.
luxuriousness, and by that I mean like it's a very full place. So it certainly has like, you know, luxury areas, but it's a very like down home, incredible backdrops that are just creating this feeling of like a very luxe, authentic experience. So when you think about a rom-com, you want to be invested in the characters, you want to take the trip, you want to take the journey with them. You need an amazing backdrop in order to do that. Italy 100% understood the assignment and nailed it.
Yes, it was main character for sure. I
For
loved it.
sure.
Now, for you, Kat, the chemistry between Regé and Halle is delicious as the pasta we saw on screen. But as a director, how do you make sure you capture that chemistry at the right time? And did any outtakes make it into the final cut?
Look, chemistry is not something you can direct. Chemistry is alchemical and it is magical. And it's the key to having a rom-com that works. And luckily, they're the most charming human beings on the planet. And you put them together and, you know, it just explodes. So my job in that respect was just to set up a space where they could feel comfortable and they could feel trusting and they could bring their own personalities and performances and authenticity to the role.
Yes, absolutely. And they did it very well. And the chemistry, I mean, I have to thank the both of you guys for the sprinkler scene.
Hello.
Not just because of how great they both look, but because I feel as a fan of rom-coms, it needs that dramatic moment that often involves rain. And so we got the sprinklers as stand-in rain. Was that always written in the script or was that added for dramatic effect?
No, I mean, we kind of found it, right?
Okay.
And that's the best version of the collaborative filmmaking process, is that you find these moments together. And I agree. You need to have, in a great rom-com, you need to have that kind of moment that is otherworldly, that is bigger than life, maybe a little absurd, but you still like can't help but to love it and you want it to happen and you're in it. So that is a true thing. You have these vineyards where you've got rows and rows, miles of these vineyards, and they all do have these sprinklers. And so it kind of organically happened when we were talking about the what if, and you know, there's the earlier version of the scene and her hair gets wet and that's always a problem for the girls, right? And then it was like, you know what if we bring that back? And so they were both into it. As you can see, Mr. Regé went hard on that
Yes,
one.
he did.
Was ready. He was
He
fully
delivered.
prepared.
He delivered.
He understood the assignment for that scene, and audiences are feeling it.
It was
Well, and just like a little window into our collaborative process too, when we talked about bringing it back at the end, Will said, yeah, but what about the audience? They're going to say, like, he's not that fine. Protect your edges. And I said, oh my God, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. We have to put that in the script. And so that moment at the end kind of organically arose from Will kind of speaking for the audience and understanding what they were going to say.
Yeah.
And so that way we could get away with it.
Anytime
Absolutely.
you can have that flavor of authenticity, you want to add it. Because
Well-
the audiences feel it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the actresses that you had adding the commentary, chef's kiss, it was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
I also want to bring up the barrel scene because that just seems so grand in scale. What do you remember about that shoot day?
Oh my God.
That was fun. That was easy, right? Tell us about the easiest shoot day ever.
Oh boy, I mean, it was so funny because in the original script, it was cheese wheels and they're tiny little wheels. And we looked
Not
it up.
quite as cinematic.
Yes, it was very hard to film. And so we talked about like, we need something bigger and more fun and more physical. And we were so excited by the barrels and then we had to shoot it. And it was really hard. And, you know, we shot it in one day. It was 102 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
But luckily, both Rege and Lorenzo, who played Mateo, were so game, and they were actually quite good at barrel racing, so that made it easy.
Well, that's good. Yeah, the muscles were definitely coming out. We loved it as the
sweat
audience
was
member.
all real.
Now, speaking of the actor who played Matteo, you guys did have a handful of real Italian actors. What can you speak to having them on set and maybe how they added in little things that made the movie more authentically Italian?
You gotta have that. And it's interesting you bring up Matteo, Lorenzo D'Amore. He is such a talented actor who actually is from not just the Tuscan region, but actually right around that same town where we shot.
Him and Marco Calvani, who plays the cab driver, are from the same town just outside of Florence,
Wow.
really close to where we shot.
So you talk about authenticity. One thing that I will give Kat props for is that she always wants to go in and have conversations with her actors and say, okay, this is what we're doing. This is our plan. This is how the narrative unfolds. Tell me exactly how you would do it. Tell me something that I wouldn't know or the audience might not know about this character, about this place, about this time period. And it adds texture and nuance that I think you have to have in today's cinema.
Absolutely. And we never wanted to feel like we were just dropping into Italy and making an American movie. We wanted to feel completely immersed in the culture. And so leaning on our actors to kind of inform us of the way Italians speak, of jokes that would be funny to them, of the food, that was something that was a constant conversation. And a lot of amazing little things arose out of it, like our two guitar playing uncles. You know, they are real Tuscan musicians from that region, and we ended up using them throughout the film.
That's beautiful. And I read that at the studio that you guys shot at for a part of the film, there were some, you know, classic Italian films that were shot there, like La Dolce Vita.
Yes.
So what are some of your favorite classic Italian films?
I love all of the Italian new wave cinema. And one of my first films was a little tiny film called While We Were Here that I shot off the coast of Naples. And it was very influenced by that
Beautiful.
era of
I'm going to add
filmmaking.
that on my list. Really quickly, let's play travel agent for a second. If someone was going to travel to Tuscany for the first time, what would be the first thing that you would put on their itinerary?
Ooh.
Oh, the Adler thermal spas.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
ooh.
Excellent.
Right?
That's right.
Are those in Tuscany?
Yes.
I'm like taking
In
notes.
Tuscany. Adler is actually the name of the resort.
Yeah.
I heard it was clothing optional. I would not know, but Kat went
No,
multiple
it's not.
times.
No, it's not clothing
you know what?
optional.
You're right.
You cannot wear clothes.
That is true.
Oh,
so
it's no
You
option.
get in trouble.
Yes.
You have to be naked, and
Good-
they look down on clothes.
good luck editing that in, Fandango.
All right.
But that is
Hey.
absolutely true, and that's what I heard. So
All
there
right.
you go.
Sign me up then.